The star field shimmered beyond the viewport as the battered human vessel, the Peregrine, limped into the alien system. It wasn't a graceful entrance. The ship rattled with every shudder, its hull scarred by past encounters, and a faint, stubborn trail of smoke wafted from the engine exhaust. Inside the cramped command deck, Captain Elena stared out, her jaw set in grim determination. The stars outside should have welcomed them with silence and light. Instead, a web of alien vessels loomed, sleek and silent, their colored insignias flashing warnings in the void. They had arrived late. Too late for the peace summit. Status report. Elena barked, eyes never leaving the screen. Milo, crouched over a console cluttered with blinking panels and half-smashed tools, looked up with a wry grin, still holding together. But not much longer if those coolant leaks keep up. We're lucky the main thrusters didn't blow out in hyperspace. Classic human luck. Jax muttered from the corner, propping himself against the bulkhead. His face wore fresh scrapes and dried blood streaks, trophies from a recent scuffle. His eyes glinted with reckless amusement. We arrived like a ragtag circus, late, bloody, and uninvited. What else is new? Zara, standing near the communication array, winced as the ship shuddered again. She smoothed her disheveled hair, her gaze soft but alert. They're not going to welcome us with open arms. We're crashing a delicate balance here. Elena's voice hardened. We don't get to choose when or how we show up. We have a message, one that could save the system from disaster. We just have to make them listen. The comm panel crackled. Alien voices spoke in a harsh, clipped cadence. A holographic projection flickered to life. An imposing figure clad in iridescent armor, their elongated limbs and angular features unmistakably foreign. This was Ambassador Rixthar the Kalari, one of the summit's key delegates. Humans, the ambassador's voice was cold, edged with disdain. You arrive unbidden. At the close of negotiations you had no invitation to attend. Your timing is suspect, your ship a disgrace. State your purpose before we decide if you merit further discourse. Elena met the gaze of the projection, unflinching. Ambassador Rixthar, we apologize for the intrusion. Our journey was delayed by unforeseen circumstances. We come with urgent intelligence about a threat that jeopardizes the system and all who live within it. Milo chimed in, fingers flying over a console to boost signal clarity. We intercepted communications from a rogue faction. They planned to sabotage the peace process with an attack on the system's core infrastructure. A ripple of murmurs and exchanges followed among the alien ships. The Kalari ambassador's digital image narrowed its eyes. Such claims require proof, not mere words. Your tardy and unprepared arrival casts doubt on your credibility. Jax let out a low chuckle. Credibility? You gotta be kidding. We're a bunch of scrappy humans who can barely keep a ship in one piece, and you're asking for proof? Classic. Zara stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. We understand your skepticism, but this threat is real. If it succeeds, it will obliterate any chance for peace and drag the entire system into chaos. The tension in the room was palpable. Elena could feel the weight of dozens of alien eyes on them, measuring, judging. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and on hostile ground. Yet, despite everything, the crew stood together, a fragile island of defiance amid uncertainty. Another transmission buzzed in. The leader of a smaller delegation, a stout, four-armed alien with vibrant blue skin, spoke. We cannot ignore a warning that may prevent war. But humans, your entrance does you no favors. If you hope to aid us, you must prove your worth. You will come under supervision until your claims can be verified. Elena exchanged a glance with her crew. Milo gave a slight nod, already calculating contingencies. Zara's eyes flickered with a mixture of hope and apprehension. Jax cracked his knuckles and smiled that crooked grin. We understand conditions, Elena said steadily. We accept. The Peregrine descended slowly, landing unevenly on the designated platform within the sprawling alien city, a marvel of crystalline towers and glowing spires. The landing pad surface shimmered with embedded tech that hummed beneath the ship's feet. As the ramp hissed open, a contingent of armored alien guards waited, weapons ready but held in check. The humans stepped out, Elena leading, Milo carrying tools and data drives, Zara clutching translation devices, and Jax flanking the rear, alert and ready. Elena's boots hit the platform with a steady thud. Blood from a scraped hand smeared the sleeve of her jacket, a reminder of the rough trip they'd endured. Milo's hair was matted with grease and sweat. Zara's eyes scanned the alien architecture with wide curiosity, while Jax's smirk never quite left his face. Classic us, Jax muttered under his breath. They were outsiders, bruised and unwelcome. But they had a mission that could not wait for invitations or perfect timing. The future of the system depended on what they did next. And somehow, despite the odds, the doubt, and the hostility, the humans were going to make sure they were heard. The ramp closed behind them, sealing their fate among alien eyes. The summit was over, the peace fragile, and the threat looming. But this ragtag crew, late, bloody, and uninvited, was about to become the wild card no one saw coming. The sterile light of the alien council chambers cast long shadows over the tense gathering. Humans and aliens alike sat in uneasy silence, the air thick with suspicion and unspoken accusations. Captain Elena kept her posture rigid, eyes scanning the faces around her, faces that still regarded her crew with wary distrust. Milo's fingers tapped nervously on the datapad in his lap, the hum of his mind never ceasing. "We need to prove we're more than a liability," he whispered to Zara, who nodded thoughtfully. Their predicament was clear. The alien delegates doubted their intentions, the timing of their arrival, and even their ability to help. Yet the looming threat of sabotage hung over everyone like a dark cloud, demanding action. Suddenly, the chamber's communications arrays sputtered and crackled, cutting off the flow of conversation. Ambassador Rixthar's stern face flickered, frustration evident in the rigid lines of his jaw. Technical difficulties. Elena announced quickly. She moved toward the console, Milo at her side, already diagnosing the problem. It's interference, deliberate. Someone's jamming our signals. Typical, Jax muttered, leaning against a wall with arms crossed. No subtlety in this system. With a few deft taps and adjustments, Milo rerouted the transmissions through a secondary channel. Got it. Should stabilize now. But whoever's doing this knows what they're up to, and they're close. The council erupted in murmurs. Doubt shifted into alarm. Zara's eyes flickered with a quiet urgency. This sabotage isn't just a rumor. It's real, and it's imminent. Elena sees the moment. If we're to prevent disaster, we need to work together. Our knowledge and your resources combined. A tense silence followed before one of the smaller delegates, a four-armed envoy named Vreel, leaned forward. Your words sound promising human, but actions speak louder. How can we trust you? Why should we accept help from outsiders who crash our summit like uninvited guests? Jax grinned, stepping forward with a swagger that bordered on irreverence. Because we're the wild card you didn't expect. We might be messy, but we get results. His voice was rough but carried an edge of sincerity. Give us a chance. Let's show you what humans can do. Elena gave a subtle nod. We propose a joint task force. Your best operatives paired with our team. Together, we'll track down the saboteurs and stop the attack before it happens. Vreel exchanged glances with the other delegates, the weight of decision heavy in the air. After a long moment, he spoke. Very well, but know this. One misstep, and your presence here will be considered an act of aggression. Zara smiled gently. Understood. We have no intention of making enemies here. The agreement made. The crew was escorted to a secure facility where they could access the alien system's intelligence networks. Milo's eyes gleamed with excitement as he pored over data streams and schematics, deciphering alien technology with rapid efficiency. Look at this, Milo said, pointing to a holographic map. The rogue faction's hideout is in the asteroid belt on the system's outer edge. Their communications hub is heavily shielded, but their patterns are inconsistent, probably to avoid detection. Zara leaned in, reading over his shoulder. The faction's culture is aggressive, honor-driven. They won't expect an attack from outsiders working with their rivals. Jax cracked his knuckles, smirking, which makes this perfect for us. We're outsiders. Let's use that. Elena gathered the team. We split up. Milo, you handle tech infiltration, and disabling their communications. Zara, you'll assist with cultural insights and negotiation backup, if needed. Jax and I will lead the tactical insertion. We move fast and quiet. The plan was risky but necessary. As preparations began, subtle tensions arose among the crew. Zara's idealism clashed with Jax's pragmatism. Milo's technical obsession sometimes made him oblivious to the human cost. Elena worked to balance them, her leadership steady but compassionate. You can't just hack and blast your way through every problem. Zara reminded Jax during a briefing. Sometimes understanding and dialogue are more powerful. Jax smirked, brushing a stray lock of hair from his eyes. Yeah, well, sometimes you just gotta blow the locks off the door and hope for the best. Milo looked up from his console. Both approaches matter. We adapt or we fail. Elena smiled faintly. Exactly. We're stronger together because of our differences. The moment of departure came swiftly. Clad in lightweight armor adapted from a mix of human and alien tech, the crew boarded a stealth craft provided by the Council. The vessel slipped through the asteroid field with practiced ease. Inside, the tension was palpable but tempered by a shared sense of purpose. Jax glanced around, breaking the silence. So, anyone else thinking this mission's going to be one hell of a story someday? Zara laughed softly. If we survive, it will be. Elena's voice was calm but resolute. We will. We have to. The stealth craft approached the rogue faction's base, a jagged network of mining tunnels and fortified outposts carved into a colossal asteroid. Lights flickered ominously along the rocky surface, a sign of heightened alert. Milo's fingers danced over the console, jamming the base's external sensors, just long enough to slip inside undetected. All right, Elena whispered, eyes sharp. Stay close, stay quiet. This is where the real test begins. As they moved deeper into the labyrinthine tunnels, the humans' different strengths became vital. Milo's technical prowess disabled traps and bypassed security doors. Zara's knowledge of local customs and symbols helped them avoid patrols and navigate without raising alarms. Jax's unpredictable instincts saved them when an unexpected patrol stumbled into their path. Nice save, Elena acknowledged as Jax quickly subdued the alien soldiers without killing, respecting their temporary alliance. Finally, they reached the heart of the base, a cavernous chamber pulsing with energy from a weapon slated to devastate the system's core. Alien tech intertwined with stolen human components formed a menacing apparatus, its hum a chilling promise of destruction. Elena's eyes narrowed. This ends here. Milo already had a plan to disable the weapon's power source, but it would require splitting the team, a dangerous gamble. Zara's voice trembled slightly. If we fail, it's not just us who suffer. Jax cracked a wry grin. No time for second thoughts. Let's get it done. The humans exchanged determined glances. Late, bloody, and uninvited. Yes, but never powerless. This was their moment to prove that even outsiders could shape the fate of worlds. The mission was only beginning. The stakes had never been higher, and the humans were ready to fight, with brains, brawn, and a stubborn, relentless spirit. The air inside the rogue faction's asteroid stronghold was thick with tension and the faint hum of machinery. Dim emergency lights flickered along the jagged walls, casting long shadows that danced like specters. The humans moved cautiously, every step measured, every breath held. Captain Elena led the way, her senses sharp, every muscle coiled with focus. Behind her, Milo's hands hovered over a portable interface, scanning for traps and security nodes. Zara kept close, eyes wide, attuned to cultural markers that could betray hidden dangers. Jax brought up the rear, a silent sentinel with a restless energy that threatened to burst at any moment. This place gives me the creeps, Zara whispered, barely audible. Welcome to our luck, Jax replied with grin, though his fingers twitched near his weapon. Milo's screen beeped softly. I've found the main power conduit for the weapon. It's heavily shielded, but the circuitry is archaic, a mix of alien and stolen human tech. I could disable it remotely, but I'll need some time. Elena nodded. Good. Zara, keep an eye out for patrols. Jax and I will scout ahead. The group split as planned, their movements fluid and silent. Elena's mind raced with contingency plans. Each step a gamble. The stakes couldn't be higher. Failure meant annihilation of the entire star system. Suddenly, a harsh clang echoed through the tunnels. Jax froze, signaling the others to halt. Around the corner, a patrol of heavily armed aliens marched, their armor clinking with every step. "Count of 6, Jax murmured. "We're outnumbered but not outgunned." Elena's voice was low but firm. "No unnecessary bloodshed. We disable and move." As the patrol drew nearer, Milo's fingers danced over his console, jamming communications to prevent alarms. Zara held her breath, fingers crossed with a delicate balance to hold. Jax stepped into the corridor's shadows, pulling a stun grenade from his belt. "On my mark, now." The grenade exploded silently, releasing a pulse of energy that knocked the patrol unconscious. Elena and Jax quickly moved in, binding the bodies with strip cables. "We move fast. No time to linger," Elena ordered. Deeper into the base, the corridors twisted like veins, leading toward the chamber Milo had pinpointed. The air grew warmer, electric hums intensifying with every step. Milo's voice crackled in their earpieces. "I'm starting the override. It'll take 3 minutes." Zara's heart pounded. 3 minutes? That's an eternity here. Elena's jaw tightened. "Stay alert. Jax, cover Milo. Zara and I will scout the perimeter." As Milo worked, Elena and Zara slipped through side passages, avoiding sensors and patrols. Their stealth was tested repeatedly, but cultural cues Zara had studied helped them navigate traps and hostile zones undetected. Suddenly, a blaring alarm shattered the silence. Red lights flooded the corridors. The override had triggered a failsafe. Compromised, Milo's voice was tense. "They're on to us." Footsteps thundered toward their location. Elena's grip tightened on her weapon. Defensive positions. Prepare for contact. The corridor exploded with hostile aliens, weapons raised and firing. Jax appeared at Elena's side, firing precise shots that took down foes without wasting ammunition. Zara ducked behind a bulkhead, relaying intel and coordinating their movements. "Keep moving," Elena shouted. "We're almost there." The firefight pressed them back, but they pushed forward, each member relying on their unique skills. Milo's technical wizardry kept the power flowing to their systems. Zara's calm analysis guided their path. Jax's combat instincts saved them from deadly ambushes, and Elena's leadership held them together through chaos. Finally, they burst into the weapon's core chamber. The massive device pulsed with ominous light, energy crackling along its surface. Control panels blinked erratically, indicating damage and instability. Milo rushed forward, tools in hand. "I need full access. Cover me." Elena positioned herself by the doorway, weapon raised. Jax scanned the shadows for any lurking threats. Zara monitored sensors, ready to alert them to danger. Minutes stretched as Milo worked frantically, bypassing encryption and rewiring circuits. The hum began to falter, energy levels dropping steadily. Suddenly, a deep rumble shook the chamber. The weapon's failsafe was activating a self-destruct sequence. Elena cursed. Milo speeded up. Jax's eyes darted around. "We've got company." From the darkness emerged a squad of elite guards, weapons blazing. Elena and Jax moved to intercept, covering Milo's desperate work. "Almost there," Milo muttered, sweat beading on his brow. Zara fired a precise shot, taking down a guard advancing on the console. The tension was suffocating. Every second a battle between destruction and salvation. With a final keystroke, Milo shouted, "Done. Power's offline." The weapon's menacing glow dimmed, the hum fading into silence. The self-destruct sequence halted abruptly. Elena exhaled sharply, lowering her weapon. "Status." "Stable," Milo confirmed. "We've disabled the threat." The remaining guards, realizing the mission had failed, surrendered or fled into the shadows. Elena gathered the team. "Mission accomplished. Let's get out before reinforcements arrive." As they retraced their steps, Zara allowed herself a brief smile. "We actually did it." Jax grinned, wiping sweat from his brow. "Told you humans know how to crash a party." Milo glanced back at the fading weapon. Not bad for a bunch of late arrivals. Elena's eyes remain vigilant. We've won this battle, but the war for peace is just beginning. The crew emerged from the asteroid base battered but unbroken. The rogue faction's weapon was silenced, their plans thwarted. Yet, beyond the shadows, new challenges waited, and the uneasy alliance between humans and aliens would be tested again. The glow of the alien city's twilight reflected off the glass spires as the Peregrine and its crew returned from the rogue faction's base. Relief mingled with exhaustion in the cramped cabin, but the victory felt fragile, a temporary pause in an ongoing storm. Captain Elena leaned back against the bulkhead, eyes shadowed by fatigue. We stopped the weapon, but this isn't over. Someone gave those saboteurs resources, someone powerful. Milo wiped grime from his hands, staring at the data logs. I traced some communications before we cut the power. They linked back to factions within the council itself. Zara's expression tightened. So the enemy is closer than we thought. Corruption runs deep. Jax cracked his knuckles, frustration simmering beneath his usual bravado. Figures. Peace is a fragile illusion when everyone's got their own agenda. The council chambers awaited them, the atmosphere colder than before. Ambassador Rickstar's gaze was unreadable as Elena presented the findings. The room buzzed with tension. Whispers of betrayal rippled through delegates. Your success is commendable, the ambassador acknowledged, but your accusations threaten to unravel what little trust remains. Elena met his eyes. We have evidence. If we don't expose the corruption, peace will remain a distant dream, and the system will descend into chaos. A murmur of agreement and dissent filled the room. Vril, the four-armed envoy, stepped forward. Trust must be earned. Humans, your interference is a gamble that could ignite war. Zara's voice was steady. We're not here to ignite conflict, but to prevent it. The stakes are too high for politics to blind us. The room fell silent, each delegate weighing the truth against their fears and ambitions. Elena knew the path ahead would be treacherous. The mission to save the system had exposed more than just a rogue faction. It revealed the fragile, fractured foundation beneath the summit. Later, in the quiet of their quarters, the crew gathered. The weight of what they faced pressed heavily. Milo broke the silence. If the council can't be trusted, we have to find allies elsewhere. Jax nodded. Time to bring out the wildcard cards. People who don't play by the rules but want the same peace. Zara's eyes shone with determination. We'll need every strength and every voice if we're going to survive what's coming. Elena's gaze hardened. Then we moved forward. Together, the Peace Summit was no longer just a backdrop. It was a battlefield. And the humans, late bloody and uninvited, had become the unlikely champion.